My colleague and author Michael LaBrouf wrote an interesting book called The Greatest Management Principle in the World. And wouldn't you want to know what the greatest management principle in the world is? Well, stay tuned because you're going to find out in a couple of minutes. Hi, this is Brian Lee, healthcare's engagement expert and founder of Custom Learning Systems. Our vision is kindness care everywhere. This is tutorial number 7 of a 12-part series called Uplifting Caregiver Engagement. You know, multiple studies over the years tell us that the number one reason people quit their jobs is they don't feel valued, appreciated, or recognized. Let's explore how you can address the desire by most employees, as my colleague and friend Tim Durkin says, to be needed, noticed, and known. There's a cute story about a young dad had a little 5-year-old, and from age 3, every time she did something right or correct, he would write her a Post-it note and leave it for her. Well, at age 5, she was sick, and when he came home from work, he'd go spend time at her bedside, and she said, "Daddy, please get something from my closet." And when he opened the closet door, on the back of the closet door were 250 Post-it notes that he had written her since age 3. What a wonderful reminder. How rarely do we get positive affirmations written down? President Reagan said, "There's no limit to what you can accomplish if you don't care who gets the credit." Folks, as a leader, your role is not to take credit for the work, it's to acknowledge people who do. A Gallup poll study that was released a few years ago said the number one reason people leave jobs is because they don't feel appreciated. So I want you to practice the 4 attributes to notice and appreciate. Number 1, they should be timely. Do it right away. Don't save it up for the Christmas party. Acknowledge people when you see them doing something good. Number 2, they should be spontaneous. You're walking down the hallway, you notice a nurse being really nice to a family member, point it out to them. Number 3, be specific. So saying everybody did a good job doesn't count. Saying the way everybody got together and organized that test drive-through in 24 hours, that was amazing. Now, folks, that's a compliment. And number 4, it should be geared to the individual. I remember I had a rock star working for me, and she could fix a photocopier with a toothbrush and a coat hanger. So the way I acknowledged her was a lot different than the way I acknowledge a new employee. Now, I want to recommend that you get a list of things people like from every direct report. Let me tell you a story. I was doing a seminar for several hundred caregivers in New Orleans. I'm talking about recognition, and a young lady comes up to me at the break and she says, "I love my boss." And I said, "Great, why is that?" Well, she went on to tell me that she worked in a community relations department of a hospital. A few months after she began, she worked all weekend on a project, and she didn't tell her boss about it, but her boss found out about this extra effort. So when she arrived at work on Monday morning, there was a jar of jelly beans and a handwritten thank you note. And I said, "Well, how did the boss know that you like jelly beans?" She said, "She asked me to write out a list of individual special things." And in our Uplift charter on page 3, there's this My List form, which we want to recommend that you give out to every direct report, give out to every new hire, because it asks questions like, what are your favorite sports? And folks, stop giving people baseball caps they'll never wear and t-shirts that never be seen in public. Honor them with something that matters to them. So if they're bowlers, give them bowling ball polish or bowling ball passes, just something that they can use. But as my friend Richard Haddon said, one size fits one. We need to appreciate the uniqueness of each individual. Now, writing thank you notes has always been a great way to appreciate your people. What I recommend you do is mail it to their home. So when they're opening their mail and they're opening their bills and their junk mail, there'll be that little gift from an angel from you. When I'm doing a seminar a few months ago, my friend Phil Ellis wrote me a thank you note, which is pretty cool. But in it, he told me he writes a note to his wife every evening, and every morning he slips it into her purse before she goes to work. And he noticed that she's kept all those notes in her purse. She lugs them around wherever she goes. Neil Donald Walsh wrote a book called Conversations with God. He said, "The struggle ends when the gratitude begins." Now, I promised you that insight from that book, The Greatest Management Principle in the World. What is the greatest management principle? It's this: what gets recognized and rewarded gets repeated. So folks, let's summarize the key ideas from this tutorial. Remember, as President Reagan said, there's no limit to what people can accomplish if you don't care who gets credit. Number 2, remember, the reason people leave jobs is because they don't feel appreciated. Number 3, practice the 4 attributes to notice and appreciate. Number 4, get a list. Number 5, send thank you cards and send them to people's homes. And number 6, greatest management principle, what gets recognized and rewarded gets repeated. Well, to help you recognize and appreciate, that list form is in our Operation Uplift Charter. Please ask for it. There's dozens and dozens of great ideas, best practices, tools that you will find helpful in celebrating and noticing and appreciating your people. Our next tutorial in this channel is humor in the workplace. If you feel this video has been helpful to you, please like and subscribe to our channel and join our Kindness Care movement. Post any questions or topic suggestions and comments. I'd love to hear from you, and share this video with your peers and caregivers as much and as often as you want. Thanks so much for watching. This is Brian Lee, Healthcare's engagement expert. Now let's go spread kindness care everywhere.